Every day, you make decisions: what to buy, who to trust, what to believe. But here's the real question. Are those decisions really yours? Or are they designed? This channel breaks down the psychology behind everything. I'm Shrest, and this is where we decode the world.
You walk into an old library, or maybe a used bookshop. Before you even see a single title, you do something almost instinctual. You breathe in, deep, and there it is, that smell. It's kind of like sweet grass with a little hint of vanilla, maybe some musty earth. It feels like home, doesn't it? Okay, let's get into why that is.
You know, for so many of us, that scent is one of the most comforting smells in the entire world. It's this shared experience for book lovers everywhere. It feels like knowledge, it feels like peace. But what are we actually smelling?
So the real question here is, why does this particular scent feel so profound? Why does it seem to hit this deep nostalgic button inside us? Well, the answer is this really fascinating mix of chemistry and, believe it or not, a very clever shortcut in the wiring of your brain.
All right, so here's the big reveal. That scent that you love so much, the one that reminds you of quiet libraries and cozy afternoons, it's actually the smell of the book slowly, gracefully falling apart.
Now really, you are smelling decay. But before that sounds too morbid, think of it this way. It's a beautiful chemical process. What you're really inhaling is the chemical ghost of paper and ink and glue as they all break down over decades. And this process, well, it releases some surprisingly wonderful scents.
So to really understand this perfume of time, we've got to look at the chemistry of what's happening right there, inside the paper itself. And it really all comes down to one key ingredient.
And that ingredient is lignin. See, in older paper that was made from wood pulp, lignin is this organic polymer that basically acts like glue, holding all the paper fibers together. It gives the paper its strength, but it's also the secret source of that magical smell as it gets older.
So here's what happens. Over the years, as that lignin is exposed to light and air, it slowly begins to oxidize. This process breaks the lignin down, and that causes the paper to release this complex cloud of what are called volatile organic compounds, or VOCs for short. You could almost say the book is constantly and silently just exhaling its own history.
And here is the actual recipe for that smell. As the lignin breaks down, it releases vanillin. Yeah, the exact same chemical that gives vanilla its warm, comforting scent. But you also get benzaldehyde, which adds a hint of bitter almonds, plus a few other compounds that give it these bready or even slightly sharp notes. It's this whole complex and surprisingly familiar chemical cocktail.
And this is what makes an old book smell so different from a new one. A brand new book smells like its creation. You know, the chemicals, the inks, the glues from the factory. But an old book smells of its life. It's a perfume created by time itself.
Okay, so now we know we're smelling a cocktail of decaying organic compounds. Cool, but that doesn't explain why we love it so much. For that answer, we have to look away from the book, because the real secret isn't in the paper, it's inside our own heads. See, your sense of smell, it just plays by completely different rules. When you see something or hear something, that signal first goes through the logical, analytical parts of your brain for processing. It gets filtered. But smell is different. It bypasses all of that and takes an unfiltered superhighway straight to your limbic system, the ancient, primal core of your brain that handles emotion and memory. This direct path gives smell what is essentially a VIP pass to two of the most important areas of your brain, the amygdala, which is your raw emotion center, and the hippocampus, the seat of all learning and memory. No other sense gets that kind of direct, unfiltered access.
And here's why that matters. That neurological shortcut is the reason a scent can feel like an emotional time machine. It doesn't just remind you of a fact, like, oh, I read this book when I was a kid. No, it can resurrect the entire emotional state of that memory, making you actually feel like you're right back in that moment again. So, when we put the chemistry of the book and the neuroscience of the brain together, we finally get the whole picture of why this experience, bibliosmia, is so incredibly powerful. The thing is, the smell of decaying lignin isn't objectively pleasant. Its power comes entirely from the associations we've built. For a lot of us, that specific chemical signature is hardwired to overwhelmingly positive and comforting moments. A parent reading us a bedtime story, the quiet safety of a school library, or just the thrill of discovering a new world on a rainy afternoon.
The writer George Gissing really captured this perfectly. And he wasn't just being poetic, he was being neurologically precise. The scent becomes this personal portal. Our brain takes that chemical signal and uses it to unlock a whole web of our own memories and emotions.
So, the next time you smell an old book, what you're really experiencing is this beautiful fusion. You're smelling the book's history, the tree it came from, the rooms it has lived in. But at the same time, you are also smelling your own history. You're smelling your childhood, your discoveries, your quietest moments of escape.
The love for the smell of books is really the love for the fragrant proof that a book is more than just an object. It's a container of memory, both its own and, more importantly, ours. So that really just leaves one last question. What memory does the smell of a book unlock for you?